19. Flash storm. That day the weather changes as if by some command or power unseen. Midday appears as midnight. Within moments the cold winds abruptly gush forward, sending a cavalry of waves to thrash against the ship. And suddenly unleashed waters batter and thrust with such force and veracity that the havoc spreads throughout. Dishes clatter, belongings, cattle, people, and elves are slammed about the hull and deck. Hail the size of peas is thrown down from the blackened clouds, rippling and menacing. Waters swell and fall, losing all grace. From the high point, Urania stands, looking unmoved to the westward, far into the tumble. The waves rise so large they could dwarf the ship. Below huddles together the Höfjarian group, with Chicheyu wincing at every blow they hear the ship take. "It sounds like war," Nigella exclaims. "Yeah," Chicheyu agrees, having remembered the sounds from their village attack and from inside the tree. "It seems much the same." "You saved us. Me," he says, gauging Draconum. The terror in his eyes speaks to her Höfjarian blood. Then she realizes that all of their eyes are upon her. What kind of a protector huddles away when danger is amid? She sighs. "Stay put," she advises, mainly to Chicheyu. She advances to the ladder as if laden. Even this tests her balance. She grips the handrails as she ascends. The other elves all pause, staring between themselves, mostly concluding the same as Draconum. In single file they trail. Leof is first. Nigella is next and keen. Maple and Elm shadowing. It is a struggle to stay straight with the violent rocking of the ship, yet none fall. Chicheyu sits unsure and alone, watching them disappear. Suddenly, the battering and creaking is worse. He remembers the whales, the manatee, the sharks, and none of them seem to threaten. But Chicheyu has listened to Nyaskis, who warns that all creatures hate dragons. No, Draconum, he assures himself. No, it was Draconum's voice outside his shell. She was the only one to speak to him. And so kind she was, and still is. It is her soothing voice he now longs to hear. A jolt strikes near him. He jumps and scrambles to get a book and holds it tight, wide-eyed, waiting for Draconum's return. Draconum steps upon the main deck, marking the crewmen with ropes tied around their waists, shooting mounted crossbows and some ballistic. A wave crashes to the side, sending her sliding across the deck. One of the Tundrans grabs her and tells her to grab a rope. As she does, another wave pushes her against the rigging. Metal rods jostle into her midsection, leaving her breathless. She is then thrust into the railing, coughing and clinging to the side of the rail. She sees in the turbulence large spikes, similar to mountain peaks, moving irregular back and forth in the inky black waters below. These spikes are battering at the boat and the boards, causing tears and splintering. To her right, she spots a few brave sailors overboard, tied with ropes and floaties, jabbing at the peaks with long spears. Draconum cringes at the vast unknown. Wet, she trembles from the cold. She'd give anything to hide from it all. The terror gripping her chest so hard she can barely breathe. She swallows a great resolve. The rushing winds whip her braids and dress violently. She acts with perceived duty. She dives from the port down into the icy water to confront the monster. Leof emerges at this moment and sees Draconum as a white blur disappearing over the edge. No! She shouts too late. A wave rises over the ship, and this time a few of the spiked blackened creatures are cast upon the deck. The icy waters chills Draconum straight to her bones. Draconum's concern is less with the cold than of the jaws stretching out to receive her as dinner. Instinctively she shouts, while the sound she issues is mute. Her force does send the monsters backwards into the chaotic water. In turn, it dashes her backwards into the boat. She attempts to swim, but the restless currents will her where it wants. Afraid to drown, she creates gills, then alters her legs to resemble a fish tail with fins. Being able to maneuver with efficiency does not prove all that effective, however. She still struggles against the force of the volatile water. With great effort, she manages around the boat bottom, regretting not using a rope. Placing a light on the keel, she realizes that nothing is what she thought. The one giant monster is instead several smaller, swarming around the ship. Dread fills her. Her stomach clenches and her heart races. Before she can act, a sudden wave forces her lower and her ears pop. Hastily, she returns to shoot ice spikes at those horrid monsters battering the bottom of the ship. Some have giant horns that measure the length of their bodies, if not longer. They dart at her aggressively, wide-mouthed, with seemingly endless rows of teeth. The mad water keeps her from being besieged, but it causes her to miss her target at several moments. There is no control, only chaos. Many of the monsters are swept off, then brought back again, repeatedly against their will. Fighting to stay near the ship proves to be straining as fighting the sea monsters. The water pushes her out into the darkened waters at several occasions. Each time she imagines their mouths coming at her eagerly. At several points, she is even thrown into the sides of them. When she smites one with her body, its clawed fins swat at her, turning with its evil teeth gleaming. Her head begins to throb. Dozens of these monsters she encounters until fatigue sets upon her. Swimming to board the ship again proves to be improbable. Desperately, she swims against the currents, seeming to gain nothing for her lavish strokes. She remains at the mercy of the tempest. In one great wave, she is sent beyond her light. As the waves toss north, then east, in the dark, consternation takes her. A landlubber she cannot discern the proper direction. Which way to swim? Then another surge throws her even further, still driving her down deep into the bitter blackness. Frantic becomes her state. As a few moments she imagines the sea monsters all around her. She fights off her imagination, focusing to create a light bubble, concentrating as she does not see the dark creature swimming towards her anymore. The Höfjarians stumble about wildly in a panic, shouting Draconum's name. Her absence gives birth to a great empty horror. Uranie provides some inflated animal bladders and rope to grant to the ones who wish to wave the waters. Leos, Nigella, and Keen go without hesitation, equipped with spears. Maple is, until Elm talks her out of such a notion, but he goes on her behalf, making her swear that she will not leave the ship. Maple is dismayed, but understands that she is of better use with service as repairs to the ship. The four elves descend into the waters, icy cold waters, and they find no sign of any of the monsters or Draconin. Hours are spent in the dark, sifting through the waters without promise. They feel the winds in their face, looking back to the gray west with disdain. The waters slowly calm, and the moons come to greet them at last. Chicheyu flies circling the boat close at first. Then in a panic he flies out so far that the others nearly lose sight of him, and they begin to worry for his safety as well. All that is found is the carcasses of the monsters that they fought. Urania informs them that they're called Leviathans, and that what it was called a flash storm. All seems lost. Then a torn remnant of white silk is fished out of the water. They then sit around debating whether to continue Draconin's plans or go back to Höfjar. The youth is unwilling to leave, and Chicheyu becomes distant, not even speaking when spoken to for several hours. Sometimes he will answer Liuf, but only with basic head nods. Keen and Nigella are ready to carry out Draconin's plans to sink the ship. The feeling of their duty to Draconin. Maple plants a date tree at the bow of the ship. Dates are Draconin's favorite. Maple, too, is uncomfortable leaving without finding so much as a body. Elm is alone in wanting to head home, and they report the events. Urania informs them that they must leave now to make it before the Baltimore fleet arrives at Höfjar. Her eyes are grave. We have sat here too long. Draconin saved us. This is true. Now you must save your own. Her words ring truth. The group sits blank. Long moments before grief befalls them wholly, and they weep, protracted in silence. And you say that the fish and mammals have not seen her? Sandven clarifies after the weeping has subsided. None, Nigella avows. But with no body, we do not know if she's trapped down there below, somewhere. Liuf laments. Understand the winds and the currents, as they were, could have struck her miles away. In truth, there is no telling where she might be, but it is doubtful that she is alive if submerged for so long. The rock ranges below her extend for miles and miles. It is doubtful that there's any air pockets. Urania tells Liuf, the winds are moving in from the west, so it is unlikely she was drugged there. Turning east as planned is a good choice. All of their eyes are placed upon Liuf. The fate of Höfjar weighs on our shoulders, Nigella reminds Liuf. We should continue as planned. Liuf appears as if abruptly struck. Keen shoots a disapproving expression towards Nigella before going over to Liuf. You're soft, he wraps his arm around her shoulder with much affection. Your mastery of the woods, healing, and caring is no match for these decisions. We are hardened warriors. We must protect Höfjar first. The whole is more important. We have soldiers for that, Liuf protests in a broken tone. Let the councils have their way. She pouts, retreating from Keen. Elm steps in, coddling Liuf. Your heart is broken. We should honor her by carrying out her plans. Maple is astonished. Her eyes shoot to Elm. You do? Yes. I stand ready. I can protect you, Lady Maple, and still honor Tucunum and protect Höfjar. He smiles, seeing her disbelief. I know. I am rules-oriented. He sighs. I act out of devotion to my home. To you, Lady Maple, and to Lady Tucunum. I welcome consequences. I welcome danger. I was bred for this besides. Tucunum is right. If we wait for them, more of us will die. I want to do what is good for us all. He's becoming a rebel. Nigella laughs. I never thought I'd see the day that you would bend rules, Keen marvels. Then, so be it, Maple says regarding Leaf. You don't have to claim her dead. You don't have to take part even, but I will risk the waters and challenge their ships to save my home, our home. No, Elm says. I will not have that. Try to stop me, Maple retorts. Urani's approach causes silence. Does everyone know how she was planning on sinking the ship? Vacant expressions go around, except Maple, who smiles. Won't worry. I can dismantle the floating logs. I won't be as quick but Maple's proud face falls. I can do it. I have to, she reasons. Hello, my name is Deandra Kellogg. I'm an artist, illustrator, writer, reading to you from Collective Minds, the second book of the White Wizard of Höfjar series. Books are available on Amazon, Ingram, and Barnes Noble. You can get it in ebook or paperback. I appreciate you subscribing and sharing with your friends. And I hope you enjoyed that bit. So we have more to go, as book Collective Minds is a 403-page book. So we have many more exciting things ahead of us. And yes, I hope the heroine has not been lost forever. But we will soon see, won't we? So stay tuned for next week. We will read Somber Days. So remember, like and subscribe, and I love my subscribers. I love you. Okay, till next time.